In trying to figure out what I would do for today's video on May 25th, 2017, I found myself stumped. And I started thinking about the romance stuff again, and then I got inspired because I was thinking a few days ago about how people will say, and I've had these comments on my videos a couple times. Oh, well, you don't know what can happen in the future. You don't have a crystal ball that's going to let you see if, you'll get what you want or any of it. Well, I said, yeah, we can still theorize based off of what we know, which is that you've seen nothing but, for the most part, rejection. So, what's going to change between now and then? As if because a year passed or a decade went by, I'm now going to have the success that evaded me 3 years ago because like some days and months and years went by. And I did realize when it comes to this, I am very convinced I can see the future. And it's not about, oh, well, you're just, very, very negative. No, I'm not very, very negative. I'm very, very realistic because I have seen time after time myself go on websites to talk to people, see people in stores and talk to them, people at school formerly I used to try and talk to, and get nothing out of it other than a brief dialogue with that person that lasts for sometimes a couple of months, sometimes a couple of weeks, and sometimes a couple of days in recent cases. I had one that got mad. I told her this will be over in a day or two. And she said, fine, I don't want to talk to you anymore after less than a day. So my prediction came true. But that was even in the case of informing her. I didn't have a problem with that because I theorized it would have been the same result even if I hadn't informed her. She might have lasted a little bit longer, but not that much. Uh, Back to this whole prediction thing. And, I don't want to call myself Mr. What's a character that can see into the future? I can't think of one. But I don't want to call myself being this prognosticator. But understand my mind frame. I can recall and recount and not I can't name all of them, but I can recall at least 30 different times I approached a female or woman or whatever you want to call the opposite sex and was met with a refusal or decline in my advances. Sometimes I didn't even advance and I still got. So, that being said, in knowing that and having had that happen for years, when I have people say, oh, you never know what could happen. Oh, you got to keep trying. You got to get back out there. Because if you wait for somebody, it's going to be a long time. Well, I wasn't waiting for years. I would go out and you still wouldn't get it. And then they do this thing where they'll say, oh, well, it's because you're shy or what. No, 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 it has nothing to do with that. I've gone up to several women that I've seen in different vicinities and areas and said, hello, my name is such and such. I'll outright say, I find you attractive. Told that's one of them. They gave me their number. Uh, Spoke to her for 2 days. She's already in a relationship, which, if you're in that, why would you even give me the number to begin with? Which she explained as her finding me intelligent. After she, says, after following these 2 days, I don't want to talk to you anymore. Well, apparently you didn't think I was that smart, huh? Not smart enough for you, huh? And the worst part about these videos is not that, it's me on file talking about frustrations or venting or whatever. It's the fact that you can't have any type of positive experience in a multitude of these encounters. So, for example, if a person gets rejected from, let's say, an Ivy League school, there's thousands and thousands of dollars they don't have to pay for because they're not going to one of those schools. If a person quits a job At least they don't have to worry about all the different distastes that they had for the job. When a person gets rejected over and over again by different females, you're going to hear the same arguments. It's not them, it's you. And then, oh, well, you got to love yourself first. They can smell it. And then he hasn't, this is my opinion, the most ridiculous one. He hasn't had a girlfriend. And, you know, he must be have some anxiety and he's planning on doing something somewhere. Like, you get demonized for it. And not just like, forget the extreme, but and look, I've gone in other videos and admitted, maybe I could have done this better, maybe I should have said this, blah 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 blah. But I can't just be the only thing that's wrong in all these different encounters. I feel there's some external factor too. For example, some of them were in relationships. And my thing would be that, just say that you're in one so I won't waste my time. Uh, and, in other cases, maybe I waited too long. A couple months went by before I approached one. I can look at that and say, these are the different ways in which I messed up. But I can't make a person like me. And I don't have that magic ability to where I can just snap my fingers, go out for a day, and oh, look, I got a date. It's this process where apparently now you have to court somebody for days or weeks, and you still run the risk of them saying, I'm not interested in this. So then I've even had some get mad that I spoke to multiple women at a time. There was one that got mad at me on I think it was some social media website. Where you talk to somebody on YouTube and they say, "Hey, let's talk on Twitter." She got upset that I spoke to somebody. Like, what is the point of me just talking to you? What is the purpose of that? Because after you throw me away, what you're doing right now, you're gonna go and get 5 other people, guys, over the course of the next 2 to 3 years to talk to. It is what it is. Does that make her a whore? Of course not. People talk to other people. She could be talking to them for more than romantic interest. A lot of these I didn't even like in that particular way until after a while of communicating, only to tell them, hey, I'm interested in you this way, and then have them say, oh, well, I just want to be friends. Like, okay, well, I'm good. And the other part that is irritating is that I can't control who sees my videos. I can't control who feels a certain way from what I said during the video. I can control how I feel about what someone has to say about. So, you know, there are people online who will go, "Oh, you never were in a relationship. Ha ha, I'm trying to make fun of you over that." In the midst of going back and forth about, say, the economy or some other issue of great substance. And my rebuttal will always be, what does that have to do with this? Oh, well, I couldn't win the argument with you over this. So let me talk about how, you used to record videos about not being able to pick up dates or whatever. So, I'm sorry, that apparently is not the proper term, because that makes me sound as if I am only interested in, I'd rather be interested in dating than, what's the other thing they say that all males want? Sex or whatever. Which, I already have all the reasons in my mind for why I don't even think of that in most of these occasions or circumstances, because the repercussions are too much, number one. But also, I'm a person who can look long term and say that this will happen because I'm going to do this. I'm going to get a job because I'm going to send out all these applications. I'm going to write this book because I'm going to spend this many hours a day writing it. Um, in the case of the romance thing, I don't believe it'll happen, because while I know I'll go out and I'll sometimes slip up and say, hey, I'll still sometimes do that. I know every other time it's going to be some reason, rationale, feeling, belief, view that I'm not good enough on their part. So, no, bye bye. And then they'll go and watch the video and go, oh man, I was correct. Other people thought he wasn't good. That means there's something wrong with them. I've seen some women do that on these websites. One of them, over here talking about, I read your comment on there and I was disturbed. It's okay. Well, then why are you responding to me? Why are you even commenting back? Go away if you're so bothered. I mean, if you think somebody is freaky and just, why are you responding to them? I don't know. Maybe I'm just not making any sense right now, but I don't think it's gonna happen. Um, I took steps in the last couple of years to try to see that it would happen. I approached, got told the same thing over and over again, and I'm just tired. And there are things I want from a relationship, but it shouldn't be this hard to get one. It really does not make sense to me why I have to jump through all of these hoops, and because someone is of the opposite sex and thereby is expected to be less courted or have to do less to get one because she can have any male she wants practically, that as long as they're not with somebody already, they're okay. They're fine as they are. It's you that has to, get a job that pays you thousands of dollars a year, and it's you that has to have some snazzy car, and it's you that has to, I mean, I'm already, and that's the thing. They always talk about, okay, well, fix your. I've had people in the context of the internet that you speak with that don't know what you look like say, maybe it's your appearance. Well, I am not, I've already explained, I don't believe I'm blessed with good looks. Um, the appearance model just declined with me. But I'm not overweight. I'm 6'2". I always hear this nonsense about women want tall guys, and then all the ones that I'm around, it doesn't really seem to be a factor. They're just indifferent. So I don't know how truthful that is. Now, if you go back to the nonsense with all of these, I don't know what you would call it, um, very select, and then that's the thing. They can have standards, but I can't. I'll say up front, I don't like people or women that do this, and they'll say, well, that's why you don't have. So then if I go and say, I don't care, they say you're desperate. There's no way to win when it comes to this stuff. And I've already explained what I want out of a relationship. I've already, been in detail about that. But the worst part is that no matter what level of success I achieve, you will always be looked at in this strange way because you didn't have a wife or a female acquaintance. And it'd be different if I was just some man that said, oh, from here on in, I will, I don't want to, I will reject any inquiries into the romantic equation of my hemisphere. No, I'm outright saying that I'd be interested in that provided that the person, just is genuinely interested. And I don't see that. And I'm also getting supposedly critiqued for it. I try, I don't get it because they don't want to do it, and you can't make them do it. You're not entitled to them, obviously. But then I'm still the villain. I'm still the one that people are gonna say he something's wrong with him. That's why he couldn't get, or he's homosexual, even though we have no record of him approaching males. But we're because he's not with the woman, we're gonna assume he's the other way. I mean, you can't win like, at all. No matter what I do, at least. If I don't approach, I feel, and this kind of thing where maybe I should, maybe I shouldn't. If I do approach, I say, okay, well, this is probably just gonna end up bad. What am I supposed to do? Why would I fake confidence if there's so much rationale for me believing otherwise that it won't go well? And me not believing it won't go well is not because I'm inherently negative or because I woke up today and didn't get my Cheerios. It's because I've seen it before not happen, and I use that as my rationale.